Hey, welcome to another episode. Welcome to the shop. Today's video will be about Molle panels for Ford Transit. So what are Molle panels? Molle panels are used for various purposes. One of the main ones when they started is to be able to mount various hardware onto a flat surface where you have these mounted. In this case specifically, these will be on the rear doors of Ford Transit van, and I've done a few of these now, but you will see in the end, if you stay with this video, you will see in the end how they look and what the final product is, or what's the purpose of it. I mean, technically, more or less. These specifically ones are for the work vans that have glass backing, and the reason for that is that they serve as a theft deterrent, you could say, right? So how this works is, for Transit, I'm gonna open up some things maybe many don't know. It's like, hey, the border on our country is very open over here, go there, right? So anyways, in this case, we're gonna talk about where's the border open on the Ford Transit. So for anyone who has a work Ford Transit, number one issue when it comes to theft comes the glass window, which gets broken through. A thief will pull the pin, lock, unlock, and once the pin is unlocked through that broken glass, they have access to the back of your van. And it doesn't really matter, right, how secure that area is or how secure that door, what kind of padlocks you're putting on anything, because they can get in. And a lot of times it's grab and go. So a matter of under a minute, they'll grab whatever valuable tools, boxes of your stuff out of the van, and they're out of there. I had multiple times where customers came and they said, hey, literally just stepped away from the van at a job site. Somebody broke the rear glass with all the noise, construction that's going on there. You can't hear what is going on. So obviously they come back to their van and the van is busted out, tools are gone, and you're talking about thousands and thousands of loss. So when you consider the costs that are associated with purchasing, installing these Molle panels, you are truly saving money. And this is like almost having, in a certain sense, in my opinion, again, all this is my opinion only. You base your opinion on your own facts and your own experiences. But in my opinion, this is a perfect way to keep away those thieves. Worst case scenario, you're gonna lose a glass and have deductible take care of that, if anything. But once the tools are gone, then, I mean, you're losing time from work. You're losing time shopping for new tools. Yeah, you get the benefit of new tools, but a lot of times the question is, can you afford to get yourself new tools? Because maybe you just bought those new tools right after Christmas when they get stolen, right? So to not put any fear into anybody, but make others think about it, I'm gonna talk basically about the Molle panels, how they're installed, and then you make your own conclusions if you need a set or not. If you do need a set, reach out to me. You'll find me either via email that you can contact me on YouTube, or you can contact me on Instagram or other social media. You'll find me through BudNixon, or email, like I said, on YouTube here. If you go to contact information, my email, I believe, is available there as well. But you can find me as BudNixon on Instagram as well. That's another way to get a hold of me. Or if you look through Nixon Overland tag or Adventure Ready tags, you will find me as well. So let's get to the installation. This is going to be a quick, I think we're just going to do a time lapse of how this works. I will do a time lapse, but before that, I'll explain the simplicity, more or less, of how things work. So the way I attach them is with Rivnuts. So you utilize one factory mounting hole over there, which has a bolt and thread already in there. And that is why, so that's 8mm, and that's why all the hardware that I include with these kits comes with 8mm as well. So we are utilizing some of these holes that are already in the door to match it up. Same goes for the driver's door. And then all you have to do is basically mark them and go from there. So let's start this. So as you're grabbing a panel, I already marked these. There's a hole here and there's a hole here, opening, whatever you want to call it. So when you line it up, that hole there and that hole there, they're the first two, including the one up top, the one on the bottom of the lock. Those three openings will match to the panel and will start basically allowing you to give you a place to start matching up, and then, you know, marking the other openings that you need to drill and put Rivnut into. So now that the panel is pre-installed for marking up the other openings, this gives you an idea what it looks like. So keep in mind that if you are no concern of this lock pin being exposed, I do have a model that just this is all closed up and there's no access to it, or you can get it with access like this without the lockout box. And the lockout box is the one that is riveted from the back, and it blocks out this area. This way there's no access to it from outside. A lot of times if you have a van that does not have a glass and you simply want a Molle panel so you can mount up your cables, your other accessories on here, this, you know, perfect way as it is. Or like I said, if you have a glass version of the doors, then you want to have the lockout box. So let's get this marked up, and that's simply, you know, you take a marker and you know, align all the center holes where you want to put the extra bolts. It is really up to your discretion to choose on how many bolts you want to hang the panel on. Really depends on what you want to do with it. Примерно маркируем, and then the upper ones as well. So let's get that taken care of. Well, now that you've seen the time lapse of the Rivnut's installation, so these are, and I'm trying to, let's see, let's flip the camera. For those who are not familiar with Rivnuts are, there are these inserts that with a Rivnut tool, they get pinched as they're inserted into this opening. And you want to make sure that the opening is very snug and tight, if that makes sense. So these are M6 size, and what we're doing is we're using what is called a 6 SSH 6 size bit, because that bit will actually be just right, and then the factory opening is right there. You could tell that the drill bit fits right in there. So those two openings that were already from the factory, they will work just fine. They're just snug enough. And I do recommend putting a Loctite like this on your Rivnuts before setting that in, because that will make it all hold together quite well. So with all the Rivnuts in place, and like I said, you can select as many as you want. I mean, you can utilize maybe 4 to 5 of them only, or you can go all the way and use them all. It's really up to your own discretion, because it's really a consideration of how much weight you're gonna end up putting onto the panel, so you know the support needed. I mean, in general, I recommend probably 1, 2, 4, I mean, more or less at least 8. And that's in the sense of making it, you know, properly secure. Now, if you don't have the glass and you're just using the panel to mount up your accessories, I mean, you can get away probably with 4 to 6, or even just, you know, like I said, 4 will probably hold the whole thing. But that will all depend on how much of stuff you're going to hang on that stuff, as far as how much weight is going to be on it. Overall, the hardware that I utilize is M6. It's stainless. This stuff will support quite a bit weight without having, you know, even all the bolts in there. So next step we're gonna do is we're gonna rivet on the lock box that puts the lockout or lockout box, whatever you want to call it, and I'll show you how that looks once it's done. So this is the lockout box. It's a simple design, nothing too crazy. I form it here in my own shop after it's been cut. It is secured by 6 of the 3/16 inch rivets, and I'll show you how that goes into it. And now it's time to pre-fit it. Just to give us an idea how things should look, and pick the right spacers and go from there. The spacers that I utilize are these 1/4 offset. I'm guessing you're gonna be able to see it. 1/4 inch rubber, and they work quite well with this setup. This is a stainless M6 25mm bolt, and I guess we can start. You just put them in the pocket so it makes it easier. I'm going to start with the top, make sure the box goes over the lock. So the sides get the same spacers, and then the rest you kind of fit per what's needed. So let's see what we'll come up with. Alrighty, so with that wraps up the installation. Without obviously recording videos and doing all the chit and chat, installation should be, I mean, in my opinion, you know, under an hour for sure. For someone who done it before, they could do it probably even faster. Myself, when I do these, it takes me about an hour to probably do 2, but you know, I take it easy, answer the phone calls or text messages and whatever, and obviously not recording the video when you're actually doing it. But here's the look of how it comes out to be. So the lock box, easily still accessible, right? And then from outside, obviously, you know, anybody's trying to get in here, they're not going to be able to get in there to pop the lock, and they won't be able to break through fairly easy. So in most cases, thieves are looking for easy in and out way. Once they bust the glass and they see that, in my opinion, that would probably stop them from going any further on this matter. I'll attach pictures to show you how that looks. I mean, already from outside even looks pretty cool. You can paint it to match whatever. I sell these in raw, meaning that I do not paint them because this is aluminum, it does not rust. It might oxidize depending, you know, what your working environment is, but in generally this will stay fairly nice and clean, and there's no rattle or whatever. And especially when you hang up certain accessories here, this is me hitting it with a hand, there's no rattle of any kind as you're driving down the road. But like I said, if you have some accessories mounted here, it will make it even more rigid. So all right, well, hopefully that does the trick. Installation of the Molle panel, that's how that goes. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below or direct message me, and we'll go from there. And now I'll probably just do a quick time lapse of the installation on the driver's side, so this way just all in one, how it goes from actually drilling the holes for rivnuts, installing the rivnuts, installing the panel, and choosing the spacers that I use in there. So yeah, my estimates are right. I'm about 40, well, just on the safe side, say 45 minutes into installation of the panel. For someone who does this all the time and has all things in place in hand, I don't see anybody charging you more than a couple hours worth of work, that's for sure. I mean, this is a 2-hour install to be on a safe side for someone who's new in this, and someone who has done this before, they could probably do it 1.5 hours or probably in an hour. But again, you know, employees don't work fast. So anyways, this is the final view. So that's the driver's side, and this is the passenger side. This is the view from inside, and considering the lights are still on and whatnot. Now that piece there is made for another latch open handle for the newer models, but in general this is how that looks from inside. So once again, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this video clarified some questions for anybody interested in these. Like I said, if you want these, hit me up and we'll go from there. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment, whatever that ringing the bell stuff that goes along, as more videos will be coming up on the channel of various installations or similar things. And if there's something specific you guys want to see or do, let me know, and maybe we could make a video for this too. Thanks for tuning in. Take care, and you have a good one.